So, in my life as an aspiring writer this past summer, I took a writing workshop with the incredible Nancy Aronie. She's an old hippie, intelligent, funny, quirky, and she has an incredible life story. I'm reading her book, Memoir is Medicine. It's absolutely excellent. It's called The Healing Power of Writing Your Messy, Imperfect, Unruly, but Gorgeously Yours Life Story. Now, I'm not writing a memoir, at least I don't think I am, but her book isn't about how to write a memoir. It's about storytelling, how to shape your story, how to use your language, context, placement, rewriting your stories. And I love it. For example, she tells how she started her book and she gives the example of the three different stories she told at the beginning. They were all super well written, but they didn't work. Then she goes on to share actually how she started her book. Funny enough, it's a memoir she wrote but never actually published. I'm telling you, she's a real card, and I just love her. The story I want to tell is that I was in a intensive workshop for a week with, I think there were like 15 of us, and we would start each day with a writing prompt, and we'd have quiet, and then we would go around and read what we wrote. I was in a room of perfect strangers. I knew absolutely no one. And on the very first day, the first person starts reading, and I'm so entirely blown away by what she wrote that I didn't get to listen to the amazing stories that were shared thereafter because I was too busy trying to make mine perfect. I was all up in my head about my writing skills, but that was day one. And by the end of the week, I had such a keen appreciation for story and language and context and what we take away from stories, how we write them, how we reshape them, how we learn from them. It was really incredible. But here's what happened. There were all kinds of stories about real life stuff: alcoholism, mental health issues, abandonment, suicide, sexual abuse. And I started to feel a little bit ashamed that what I was writing about was all this Pollyanna sugary stuff about my mother and father and sister. And of course, my stories were coming from a place of not only having had a beautiful family life as a young kid, but loss and the pain I felt about loss. And then something happened that really changed my thinking. One of the women sitting next to me reached over and with tears in her eyes, she said, "Constance, I just love your story. Thank you so much for sharing it." Now, this is a woman who had shared some difficult stuff. And she said to me, "Your stories give me hope that my children will have loving things to say about me." Sorry, I'm crying, but it was very emotional because here I was feeling that I needed to apologize for my story. And I was comparing myself and my stories to other people. And then I got that beautiful reminder that our stories are all important. We don't need to apologize for the good things or the bad things. We don't get to decide what lands for other people in our storytelling. We don't need to apologize for our success or our happy marriage or our beautiful vacation. We may be a North Star for someone, just like we don't need to apologize when we tell the stories about the bad things that happen, because storytelling is a way to make meaning and to make sense of what's happened to us. It's not the telling of what happened, it's how we shape the meaning and the takeaway. I think I'm telling you all this because I speak a lot to what we tell other people, the language we use, including in a job interview, about our lives, about our experiences. Deliberate language shapes the way we see things. It also can shape a first impression. It also reveals what's important to us. And we do get to rewrite and reshape and rethink the way we tell our stories, the way we share our experiences, including our work experiences. It's not what happened to you or what you did, it's what you do with it that matters. I want to end with this quote that begins chapter 2 of Memoir as Medicine. It's called Chapter 2, Why Write? And it's a quote by Joan Didion. "I write entirely to find out what I'm thinking, what I'm looking at, what I see and what it means, what I want and what I fear." And then Nancy writes, "Me too. She is so funny." So I'll just end with that. I think it's important that we catch ourselves, we pay attention to the stories we're telling, and we reshape them and rewrite them. So what stories do you want to rewrite? What are the stories you're telling yourself that perhaps you need to rethink? It's good to catch yourself. And that's a note to self, believe me. It's so easy to go into the woe is me. It's not what happens to us, that's for sure. It's what we make of it and what we take away from it. I'm going to end here. That's all for now. Until next time, from my heart to yours.